When you think of major organs within the human body that are crucial for human life, what are the first ones that come to your mind? Some would say it would either be the heart or the lungs, because quite honestly, that's what they know best. We tend to spend so much time on these organs that we tend to forget that there are other organs that are crucial for survival in the human body. Actually, without this particular organ that I'm talking about, an individual might not be able to last up to 3 days. What if I told you this organ that I'm talking about is one of the biggest in your entire body, weighing at almost 3.1 pounds? What if I said it can be classified as a supercomputer or even a manufacturing plant because the amount of multifunctional tasks it is able to perform by the very second? What if I told you this organ was the liver? Yes, your liver is one of the more underestimated organisms within the human body. The same way there might be that underestimated player within your local sports team that you simply do not realize how much they actually contribute to the team, or in this case, the human body. There's so much to know about the liver that the students tend to shy away from the subject, but not today. We're going to be looking at things such as key structural features, what system is an internal part of and why, the function of this organ, one disease that can affect this organ, and finally medical technology that can be used in order to diagnose it, through plenty of examples, explanations, and even experiments. So, I hope you have a pen and paper because this is the crash course on the liver. Before we get into the real key structural features of the liver, I would like to just do a quick exercise in order for the students to realize where your liver is actually placed in your body in order to understand this crash course that much better. So, if you can, rely on your right side and place your left hand over the area of your liver, so right underneath your right rib cage. Position yourself with your head slightly inclined forward with your knees bent. This will be able to relax your abdominal muscles and place the liver forward. Now, with your knuckle, go underneath your ribcage and tell me what you feel. What you should feel is the front facing of your liver. You'll be able to estimate how large your liver is by simply moving your knuckles. So, now getting into actual key structures, the liver is more of a triangular shaped organ that has many key features. The liver is a roughly triangular organ that extends across the abdominal cavity just inferior to the diaphragm. Most of the liver's mass is located on the right side of the body, where it descends inferior towards the right kidney. The liver is made up of very soft, pinkish brown tissue by a connective tissue capsule. It is made up of 2 lobes, your left lobe and your right lobe. So now that we have a more of a visual aspect of what the liver actually looks like, we're going to get into the veins and arteries that are within the liver. Starting off, you have your hepatic vein. Your hepatic veins are blood vessels which transport the liver's deoxygenated blood and blood that has been filtered by the liver. This can be from the pancreas, colon, small intestine, and even the stomach. And this leads to the inferior vena cava. Next is your portal vein. Your portal vein carries blood from the spleen, pancreas, and intestine. This blood in the portal vein is nutrient rich but oxygen poor. Let me repeat that. So the blood flowing in the portal vein is nutrient rich but oxygen poor. Next, we have our hepatic artery. Our hepatic artery is actually oxygen rich and nutrient poor and is able to carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the liver. So that you can see the difference between the portal vein and the hepatic artery, that they are opposite when it comes to blood flow between nutrients and oxygen. So that's something you should keep in mind when studying the liver. And finally, you have your inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava is blood that has been processed by the liver, carried to the heart by this vein. So, for more practice, I'm going to put up an image on the screen in order to get more of a broad picture of what the liver looks like and in order for you guys to understand the key aspects and key features of the liver. The liver has a vast amount of functions that is able to perform towards the human body. But the main system the liver is a part of would have to be the digestive system. Its main task in the digestive system is to process the nutrients absorbed from the small intestines. Also, it releases this sticky green substance called bile that kind of looks like your snot. There you go, now you're going to remember bile because the image I just put in your head. Moving on, this bile is released to emphasize fats and break them down into tiny pieces to make it easier to digest. Think of it like this. It works like a faucet. When bile is needed, only little droplets will enter in order to digest the food and break them down. Along with that, the liver is also able to store things such as carbs and glycogen. When food is digested into the human body, some of that food will be released as energy throughout the human body, and the rest will be stored as glycogen. When energy is needed by the human body, this glycogen that can be found in the liver is able to regenerate into energy and be distinguished throughout the human body. So, you can see once again, the liver has many functions throughout the human body, but its main thing is in the digestive system, making the liver a multifunctional organ. Even though the liver is known for being a multifunctional organism throughout the human body, the liver's main function is filtering the body's blood when it comes from both the hepatic artery and hepatic portal veins from the intestine. The blood that comes from the intestine is filled with fats, vitamins, and carbs. It is able to fill the liver with the nutrients that it needs and is able to sort out and spread and deliver throughout the rest of the body. The liver is also known to identify harmful chemicals and toxins that may harm the liver, and it is able to monitor them carefully. The liver is able to hand-pick these harmful substances one by one and release them into the kidneys. To further explain, I would like to do a quick example or even experiment to explain how the liver acts as a filter and how it is able to take out those harmful chemicals. So that we have seen throughout the lesson that the liver more so acts like a filter, and I want to put that to the test. So when blood flow goes into the liver from both directions, it can be filled with things such as fats, proteins, and carbs that the liver is able to process and able to either store at a later date or provide throughout the entire body. But from time to time, within that blood flow comes harmful chemicals and toxins that the liver is able to use and is able to filter out and identify these specific toxins and chemicals carefully, and is able to release them and either turn them into something that can be useful towards the human body or dispose of them in the kidneys and throughout the urine. So what I want to do is I want to put that to the test. So this strainer right here is going to represent the liver. It's going to represent how the water, which in this case represents the blood, is flowing through the liver, is able to act like a filter, and is able to identify the toxins that are going through the strainer and is able to dispose of them at a later date. So I'm going to put the strainer right here, and inside we have our water, which represents our blood, and our rice. Our rice represents the harmful chemicals that will get stuck at the strainer and will represent when the strainer goes through the harmful chemicals and toxins. So I'm going to start pouring, and you can see things such as the fats, the carbs, and the proteins are going straight to the liver because they are good. But when it comes to actually the harmful chemicals, such as the rice, it gets stuck within the liver, like you can see. So in this particular case, because it's harmful chemicals, it would be either released to the kidneys that the liver disposes it and released to the urine. Now that that experiment's done, we're going to get into the last function of the liver, which is producing bile. Like stated before, bile is a thick green-yellow fluid that the liver produces to help digest food, especially fats, as it passes through the stomach and into the intestines. This fluid is made in the liver, but is actually stored in a nearby sac called the gallbladder. When a person eats a heavy meal, like a thick juicy steak for instance, the bile is able to perform and go into the stomach and intestines in order to break down these foods and get them down into their simplest form. Because the liver is dealing with such a high shipment of foods, toxins, and blood flow, the chances of diseases that can arise are unfortunately very high. And I'll be talking to you about one disease that students are very familiar with, which is liver cancer. Although primary liver cancer is relatively uncommon because the liver filters such high volume of blood, it may contain cancerous cells. It is from developing a form of secondary cancer. If cancer originates in the liver, it is often caused by hepatitis B, C, or it can develop in cases of advanced liver disease. Symptoms of the liver are weight loss, little to no appetite, inflated abdomen, and even a fever. It is known that yellow skin or eyes is a clear sign of failure in the liver and should see a doctor as soon as possible. Liver cancer is found mostly in other organs that make their way up and target the liver, a primary example being the stomach or the intestine. Cancer cells are able to separate from the tumor and are able to go up to the bloodstream to the liver. When it comes to seeing if a patient has liver cancer, more than one piece of technology comes to play during this process. First, an examination involves simply feeling the abdominal area is done to check enlargement of the liver. Then, a blood test, ultrasound, and CT scan are ordered to be done in order to find more suspicious findings. The final way technology that can be used in order to detect liver cancer could be through a liver biopsy. A liver biopsy is when they take a sample of tissue from your liver and examine it in order to see if there's anything wrong. So, that is a crash course on the liver. We have gone over major things such as the key structural features of the liver, what system is an internal part of and why, the function of this organ, one disease that can arise from this organ, and finally technology that can be used in order to diagnose it. So, I really hope that this really helped you and you're going to be able to use this to your advantage when studying, and I hope you guys ace that test. So, thank you, and I'm out.